Okay, here's the all-important mana base. You see it's not very big. This deck runs on very few actual lands. You know, if you have 2 in your opener, you're pretty much good to go. That's actually ideal. 2 is about the magic number. If they're fetches, all the better, because you do thin your deck out a little bit, which I know it's incremental, but it's, makes a little difference when you've got so many, live draws or what you're going for. So I'm running the 4 Misties, 2 Verdants, 2 Overgrown Tombs, and 4 Breeding Pools. Also a Dryad Arbor, which is pretty good to fetch up if you need that one more creature for your Crater Hoof the next turn. That just also you can cast Back Call, fetch the Dryad Arbor, draw a card. It's not bad. And 2 or 3 regular Forest. Haven't had any problems with getting mana screwed, to be honest. Like I said, if you've got a land or 2, you're pretty good. Because a lot of your 1-drops produce mana. And if you get 3 of them out there with Heritage Druid, you're going to make all the money you ever want. So, anyway, that's it for this. Okay, here's the suite of non-creature spells. Of course, got the 4 of Summoner's Pack. It kind of acts as a pseudo Green Sun Zenith. Of course, it doesn't put it into play, but it's free. So you could technically get a Crater Hoof in on 8 mana, whereas in, like I said, the Green Sun in takes 9. Of course, you do have to pay 4 at the beginning of your next upkeep, or you lose the game. However, depending on the situation, there usually isn't a next turn. Like I say, if you're doing it, unless you're doing it just to survive and hoping you get the 4 mana out of your lands or something. But they work really well. Glad I saw them. Took me a little bit to get all 4, but been very happy with them so far. Running just 3 of the Back Call. Seems like when I had 4, the full 4 of, I would want 3 in hand, and it is not Glimpse of Nature when it comes to that. Like, the extra mana really makes a big difference when you draw it in multiples. You want to cast 1 on like turn 3, I guess. If it makes it to turn 3, you can just if you don't have the cards you need. I have been in a fairly stalled game with a Deathrite Shaman out to make white mana and fused it. Draw 4 cards and then just keep going off. So it's pretty good. I really wish Glimpse was unbanned in Modern, but that's probably never going to happen. So this is what we got, and it's been working pretty well. Now a card that's really good is Cloudstone Curio. It's just a very weird card, but in this deck, be able to play an Elvish Visionary and bounce an Elvish Visionary and replay it over and over, or just basically, if you've got a couple of Nettle Sentinels out, you can really go infinite on playing your guys, untapping, making more mana, play your guys again, make more mana, and just build it up. And if you have 1 Visionary and a couple of Nettle Sentinels, and of course Heritage Druid, pretty much just draw your whole deck. So I have had a hard time losing when I untap with this and just a couple of guys in play and like any cards in hand. So if you're ever playing against an Elves deck and they drop this, if you have any way of removing it, you might want to do so very quickly. Speaking of ways of getting rid of things, I just decided, I had this in the sideboard, and every matchup I was like, man, I wish I could just kill that thing. They'd have like one really annoying permanent. It could be like Liliana against Tron. It was a Platinum Angel, and I'm like, I have no way to kill that main deck usually. And I thought about putting Breeding Shaman or something like that in the main deck to search up with Summoner's Pack, but I thought, well, it hits artifacts, or like I say, Acidic Slime hits lands and enchantments and artifacts, but what if it's a Planeswalker? What if they like turn 3 Karn me? Whatever. So Beastman just made sense. A 3/3 Beast really does nothing against my deck, because by the time it does any more than 1 or 2 damage on me, I'm just probably smashing for 80. So really good card. I may go up on this, although I'm not sure what I'd cut, but every time I've drawn it, it has done something quite good. Like, even if it's just blowing up their most important land, in the upkeep, it does pretty good work. I don't even know what to say about it. I really like the card, though. I'll let you know if I go up on it. Now this is, I know it's kind of ambitious, but 4 mana is not a lot. And getting a bunch of elves in play is very, very important to the deck because they tap for mana with Heritage Druid. They make Archdruid tap for a bunch. If you ever do get a bet call out with a little mana floating around, say you've got, I don't know, even if you just have 3 elves out, and you've got 3 lands and 3 elves, you play back off of 2 of the lands, because one of them's probably going to be a breeding pool. Tap your 3 elves, tap your other land, or get 3 more guys, draw 3 cards. It's going to take a really good sweeper and really well played next turn from your opponent to not win that game, I would think. But like I said, I've only cast it a couple times, and every time I've been really happy with it. It's a really powerful spell, and I thought it was more like an EDH card, and it kind of is, but in this deck, just one of it can really help you go off when you need to. So, like I said, not many non-creature spells, but what do we have there, like 11? Is it 11? Yep. So, let me know what you think. Got any suggestions? Be happy to listen to them. Okay, and lastly, on to the creatures. Of course, in this deck, it runs many creatures. Don't have an exact count off the top of my head. But anyway, first turn, you really want to drop a mana guy. Got 3 Arbor Elf, 4 Llanowar Elves, and 4 Deathrite Shamans. Deathrite Shaman, of course, has many modes, but he can generally tap for mana on turn 2, in Modern anyway. Okay, and then turn 2, you want to be dropping 1, if not 2, of your kind of your combo type pieces, your Heritage Druid, Nettle Sentinel, Elvish Visionary. Anytime you draw these, you're pretty happy. So, really gets you going. Heritage Druid being the most important, Sentinel being slightly less important, but very important as far as going off because of his untap ability. And you're never really upset to draw the Visionary because drawing cards is good for 2 mana. And it counts as a creature, it can tap with Druid, yada yada yada. So, I did cut 1 Arbor Elf, so I decided to play the one of Warcaller. Sometimes you get a lot of mana going, but then kind of brick off. So, you know, I might have just draw a bunch of lands in this guy and have like 6-7 mana floating, and just cast him with a big kicker, make all your guys big. It's not the worst thing to do. I've been trying him out. It seems pretty good. As far as actual lords that tap a lot of mana, hard to go wrong with Archdruid. He gives all you guys +1/+1, which kind of helps with trample damage later on if you get the credit in play. Also, if you cast this guy on turn 2, untap turn 3, play a couple dorks and then tap this guy for a bunch. And like I said, just kind of off to the races. So he's in a lot of the Modern lists I've seen, in any standard list that you've seen the last few years. A little too expensive for Legacy for the most part, but very good still. Now, 2 other cards that are kind of too expensive for Legacy, but I've had a lot of luck with, are these 2. The Gilt-Leaf Archdruid is very, very good. It's got quite a few Druids in this deck. Way more than 12, I want to say. Or 12 or 13, we'll say. So getting 7 untapped is not that hard. So I have actually taken all my opponent's lands before on like turn 3, which was a lot of fun, to be honest. I could have cast Crater Hoof, but I was like, nope, I'm going to take their lands. So it's kind of an alternate win condition. People usually skip when you take all their lands. So, and you can do that every turn. Like I said, they play another land, tap all your guys, take your land. Whatever. Sage of the Anima is a very interesting card. Anytime you draw a card, instead you reveal the top 3, and you just take all the creature cards, put them in your hand, put the rest on the bottom. This, like I said, this deck runs, well over 20 creatures. So a lot of times it's like for your draw step, you're drawing 3 cards. So, and that counts for Elvish Visionary. Any kind of draw you get off a bet call, you just look at the top 3, etc., etc. So another really big card draw is Regal Force. Of course, that's your go-to when you can't quite go off. Either Crater Hoof wouldn't be enough to kill them, or you can't find Crater Hoof, but you draw this guy, he refills your hand just about every time he comes down. Really good guy. He's a 5/5, which not irrelevant. But yeah, generally your win condition is Crater Hoof with like 4 or 5 guys in play, and one of them being able to attack with him. Usually get it done. So anyway, let me know what you think. Hope you like the deck. It's been a lot of fun to play with. Of course, I've been playing the Legacy version as well, but been trying to give the Modern a little bit of a try, especially on Moto. So I'll have here any comments or suggestions, or if you just think something doesn't belong. But Anyway, just let me know.